Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's TV show, A Perspective Vision on Railways program on Logi TV. Today's guest is a highly appreciated and special railway expert in innovative and sustainable wagon design, which is currently a trending topic in Europe and also in Turkey. He has very interesting ideas in mobilizing existing wagons with multi-purpose use and efficient application in intermodal transportation. So here we are. Now, Rudolf, welcome to our show. And could you please introduce yourself?
Hello, Mr. Türker. Thank you for inviting me. My name is Rudolf Hubauer. I'm from Austria. I'm the mastermind of the company Boxmover. Boxmover is an innovative company founded 20 years ago by myself. We focus our business on innovations in combined traffic, rail and road. And the topic for today is refurbishment wagons, which are quite useful for Europe. And I want to introduce you in some points of this new innovation system.
Thank you. And it's great to have you here on board. And I will start with my first question then. Can you give us a general assessment of current rail freight market in Europe and the status of the freight wagons?
Perfect. Yes, the railway market in Europe is quite interesting. There are around about 640,000 freight wagons registered in Europe. 45% of them are operated by the seven main wagon keepers. As you see, DB Cargo, PKK, VTG, Ermewa, and so on.
Yes.
And an interesting feature is that round about 12% of all the freight transport in Europe are operated by rail. By the way, in Austria, we have around about 20.7%. And the interesting thing on these features are the average age of the wagons is round about 32 years. That means they are all quite old. The lifetime of a freight wagon is 45 years at least, and so you see every year they're getting less and less freight wagons on market because you can't produce as much new freight wagons as needed to be on the same level like before. Round about 7,800 new wagons were built every year, and there's a gap of round about 30,000 wagons every year, which getting less and less. So I think this is one of the main reasons why refurbishment and new built wagons are so important for the freight market in Europe.
Yeah, especially for the efficient use of the currently existing fleet, right?
Yes, exactly. The current fleet and the new build fleet are the main goals to reach to get more freight on the railway and save the nature. Yes.
So I will step forward then to our second question. In which direction is rail freight transport shifting, and what measures are necessary to be able to transport more goods by rail in an environmentally friendly way in the future?
If you have a look at a freight wagon, a classical USC freight wagon, that costs about round about 80 to 100,000 euros.
Mhm.
And the welding parts of a freight wagon is quite high. So it's a lot of man work to get this. Another topic is to get an homologation for a special wagon. Costs about round about everything together 2 million euros per type. About this, in the past, mainly the normal container platform wagons were built in the modern new companies, especially in Turkey, and the traditional ones are not built because it's quite difficult to get every time the homologation for them and make their own production line. Exactly in this topic, Boxmover developed a system where we have a main frame. It's called base frame in our product, which is fully TSI certificated, and then we can do customer size superstructure on this base frame without changing any topic of an TSI certification. And on the other hand, we can give the customers more benefits by having more opportunities for new superstructures. The second is we are quite small. Our main goal is to refurbishment old wagons. And if you have a look at the design of a wagon by themselves, we see that the main steel design of a wagon is what you see when you see at the wagon. There's a new one looks good, a 10 years old one is quite damaged. If you look at detail, you have a wagon from the steel design, yes, but then you have other components like the bogies, wheel set, brake system, buffers, hook holders, and so on. These components are every time on a very, very high level in maintenance, because otherwise you can't go with this wagon in Europe on track. And from this point of view, it makes sense if you said, okay, you have your components, the railway components, the bogies, the wheel set, the brakes, and so on. You take them and only change the superstructure. If you look at the costs, for example, the components, the railway components, bogie and so on, are round about 45,000 euros per wagon. So that means 66% of the whole wagon belongs to these components. And if the wagon is end of his lifetime, you throw everything away. And here the refurbishment system of my company comes, and you can only change this, the main frame, the base frame, put a different superstructure on it, and then you are free to have a new refurbished wagon.
That's very, very interesting and very innovative. Thanks a lot. And it's also for you, I guess, a very proud story that your company has been achieving this one of the best solutions, I guess, right now. And if it's so, then what advantages does the base frame, what you have explained right now, offer the customer, and what advantages does one have in the authorization process?
One of the big advantage is that our base frame, for example, in 40 feet length, is fully TSI certificated in all belongings. So if you make a refurbishment of a wagon or a new built wagon, you have the frame which fits all regulations, and then you put the different types of bogies with disc brake, with compact brake, with classic brake, the different brake system by themselves, Knorr, Wabtec, and different buffers like L buffer, A buffer, or automatic couple on this frame. And you have a completely new system where you must not test everything from the starting. You take your documentation and you have only a checkup if the TSI of the sub components are correct and fit them together, and then you build your own TSI around this and make your safety report, assessment body report, and you can bring the wagon in market. On this point of view, you save round about 1.5 year and a lot of money. Another topic is you have the base frame and you put different superstructure on it. We all calculated this already. For example, not only containers, also UAC loads or special superstructure like AR box or something like that. That means the frame is the main product which fits everything what railway business requirements, and the superstructure will be done only customer size. So if you have a transport from customer from Germany, he has other requests than perhaps a customer from Spain or from France or from Turkey, and we can do this in a quite easy way without changing the TSI of the base frame by themselves.
Great, really great. Those are a lot of advantages if you especially say that the customer can save 1.5 years and a lot of money due to this unique design. It's also very innovative and sustainable for the future as well. So I will go then to my next question. What is the base frame system exactly, and what design options does the customer have?
The customer has the big advantage that he can use the base frame and wagon as just a normal container car, like he knows it from standard wagons. But he can also put some superstructure on it, like an AR box, an F wagon, an air wagon, that means with rungen or with loading device, but also he can put some special ads on that he said, okay, I have some goods which are not typical for transport. I need some helping device. Then he can put this on the frame, and you can use the normal TSI for this, only make some changes in the documentation, but this is only paperwork and not a safety requirement. And then you build your product around of this frame, and at the end you have a customer size solution of a freight wagon, which in the main or basic version is every time the same. You notice the same principle in lorry industry, for example. If you have a standard lorry and you put some superstructure on it, you have a different kind of transport vehicle. And the same way we do it here with the freight wagon, we can put every superstructure you imagine on this system, and customer has the big benefit that he has a solution which fits perfect in his logistic concept. And I come back to the question or on the topic of the refurbishment. If you take 66% of the components which are working well and are on normal maintenance progress and are good for this traffic, you save a lot of time, and this is a green deal for Europe. You don't throw away the old thing which are working. You make a refurbishment, you make it a new one and have all the benefits. If you look at the slide, for example, you see it. The only new component is the base frame, the steel construction. Then you have some customer size superstructure, and all the other components are standard components you can use from refurbished or new build. And this makes a great benefit either in the time to bring it on market, other in the green deal to use components longer and save nature.
Very interesting. Very interesting. If we come to our next question, dear Rudolf, I'm very curious on what is the principle of the production, how the production take place of such a wagon?
The production of a wagon, like we have it with the base frame here, is similar to a design from a lorry industry. That means we try to reduce the welding of a frame. Welding takes a lot of manpower to do this, and this is on the one hand the reason why it is so expensive. On the other hand, it's everything you do by hand is the risk to have some troubles with quality and so on, because a man is not like a machine. On this way, we have a new design or a new concept how we make designs. That means we're thinking during the design process how we can produce the frame, the steel design, and have all the necessary informations already in the frame of our design. That means when I start the production, all the information for the production are already in the digital twin of my base frame, and only belongs to the machine which produce the part, for example, the laser or the bending machine and so on. And the quality of the final products belongs to the quality of the machine, not of the quality people can do if they have good days or not so good days. You can eliminate this totally and only focus on the right use of the machine, and then produce them. After cutting and bending, you fix the sheets together like a Lego system. That means you have a system where you have a possibility to put the things together, screw them, so that you have a main design already after bending, and then you only have to weld, and the welding is quite easy in this way, because the tolerance you have already from the bending and the fixation before, and you with the welding you give only more stiffness to the frame. And this allows me to produce a railway wagon, a base frame, as you see on the picture, the blue part, in less than 100 man hours. And if you use robots for welding, the manpower is less than 50 hours. So it's quite economic to bring such systems on European market, because you can calculate your costs quite good, and the quality is every time the same.
Thank you. And I will step now to my last question. Is the market ready for such a design? What is the current demand, or what is your opinion when this product can be placed in the market?
We think that there is a huge market for the
Mhm.
refurbishment of freight wagons because in Europe, more goods should be transported by rail. You have limits in the wagons, as we have seen at the beginning. It's getting down and down. The new build market is also limited because of costs and resources of this. And so it's to refurbish old wagons to make it new or with a new function. It will be a very interesting market because on the one hand for the Green Deal, on the other hand to increase the capacity and the quality of transport by themselves. Again, an old wagon can have problems. A new wagon runs without problem because everything is new on what is necessary for the transport. And exactly this we do with our refurbishment system to bring old wagons new in market. And we get our TSI certification 6 weeks ago. We just started now with the to go on market, and we see customer request this and said, yes, this is a very smart idea to make my fleet much modern, and on the other hand, not to wait 1.5 year to get the new build car.
Yes.
We can
Yeah.
produce this in less than 3-4 months. You have your new car, refurbished car, and everything is fine, including the TSI, because all the tests already have are done, and you only put them together in a paperwork. So it's also done in 2-3 weeks. You have your own TSI for the new refurbished wagon.
We are coming now to the end of our time. Our time is up. I would like to thank you very much for the insights and state of the art for innovative and sustainable wagons in the railway market, Rudolf, and wish you great success in your business.
Thank you very much for the interview. It was a pleasure to be on your side. Thank you very much.
And we hope that you like the program and stay tuned for the next session. Thanks a lot. Goodbye.
Thank you. Goodbye.